Welcome to your Colorado State volleyball update. The Rams go on the road for a victory at Nevada, return home with a sweep over the San Jose State Spartans, opening up their title defense 2-0. Matt Wozniak with you. Head coach Tom Hilbert to talk about two matches. You went on the road, you came back here. Those felt like very different matches. They seem to have different feels, different tempos to them. Was that a function of your performance or also maybe your opponents and what you could use and the strengths they had and the weaknesses that you exploited?
Well, I think first of all, we'll talk about Nevada because that was the one that started off, really crazy for us. They blew us out really in the first set, and we hit 303. And I thought to myself, wow, man, either they're really good or we're doing nothing to disrupt them. And I think the second choice was the one that occurred. Okay. We came out and served better, blocked better in the second set, and then they started doing some of the things that they would sometimes do. Okay. They got desperate about trying to hit balls and hit more errors and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So they played very poorly in the second set. So now we're 1-1. We go out in the third set was competitive. We won it at the end. Yeah. And we were getting a feel then for what they were doing offensively. They were very fast, and they ran a very fast back row attack, which we had not seen. And our defenders, we weren't bringing multiple blockers in on it, and our defenders were not dropping. So it was a ball that we had not really prepared well enough for. But we started getting it. You know what I mean? Starting in set 3, we're starting to block that ball. We're starting to dig that ball a little bit. And, I thought Olivia Nicholson did a really good job defensively. And that next thing you know, we win that one in a close one. And then the fourth set, we win fairly easily.
Yeah, and then you look at your offense. Brianna Reynolds once again leading the show. But Paulina Hugard-Jensen, who struggled a little bit finding the timing and the rhythm, well, she came out and she's in double-digit kills for you. So she has a great match and turns around. So you're starting to get that balance. You're starting to see where that comes from in that Nevada match?
We are. We're starting to see that. We're starting to see Hilliard, too, step up when she needs to. You know what I mean? When we need a kill, she was getting it for us. Really, we had a lot of balance, I thought, in that game. And then I thought, we made Ellie was blocking the ball okay, but not getting kills. Sasha came in and got a few much-needed kills in that spot. So we really need to use the right side attack more, and we did that again. We did it better on Saturday.
Well, we're going to stay with that because a couple of players, I just mentioned Brianna Reynolds leading the way, Paulina Hugard-Jensen, Kirstie Hilliard, but a couple of players have really stepped up over the last few matches. Ellie Gupser seems to have solidified that opposite hitting, and she's been a big presence, just sort of not necessarily getting kills and getting on the stat sheet a whole lot, but being a presence and a force funneling into your back row defense. Her improvement, as well as Jessica Jackson, has been really, really impressive over the last couple of weeks.
It's significant. They're both playing very aggressively and confidently as attackers, which we need. Mm-hmm. And then, Ellie in particular is in the right spot blocking, and she's big. And so she can, make other opponents change their shots, and that's what we want to do. Jessica is blocking better, still needs to make some improvements in some areas, but I really like the way she's swinging right now, and she's not making a whole lot of mistakes that she was making earlier in the season. She is very aggressive, and she's, people are going to have to start paying a lot of attention to her.
Especially when you distribute the ball the way that Katie Olick can. Okay, let's turn our attention to the sweep against the San Jose State Spartans on an orange-out evening here at Moby Arena. Well, you started out like gangbusters. Everything was clicking. That's about as good and as fluent as your team has been in the first two sets. Then it tightened up, but you came through in the end. Important moment.
Yeah, it was an important moment, and I didn't like that what we had done to get there, but we were down 24-23 and came back and won a game and did it under control. It wasn't like it was given to us. We took it, and those are great competitive moments. You want your team to experience that, so next time they're in that situation, they feel like they know what to do. And so I was proud of them for that end game competitive moment.
And when you go back and you look at the film of some of those moments, I mean, you go back to the very beginning. I mean, you're in a 5-set match with the University of Illinois, and your season opening match, it gets down to crunch time, and maybe there were some breakdowns. But here, things are just getting better. Is that a moment where you can say, okay, this is what wasn't working for us, and this is how you are continually getting better and better and better, and you expect it to continue to get better?
If you don't do that as a coach, you're not doing your job. I mean, you want your team to feel that they can get through those situations and have confidence that, hey, I've been here before and we did the right thing. And even if it only happened once, that's the moment you want them to remember, because that puts them in the right frame of mind.
Colorado State earns 2 victories over 2 teams that they will not see again in this Mountain West campaign. Now comes the hardest part of the schedule. If from an outsider looking in, I'll ask you this question exactly. 3 matches on the road. You go out, you do your California swing on Thursday and then Saturday, then a quick turnaround, and the border war starting October up in Laramie. This is a really difficult stretch. How do you keep your team fresh?
We're going to not practice that much volume. We just want to practice hard. Like today, we went an hour and 45 minutes. We need to keep them, intense, but feeling good, with their legs feeling good and everything. And I think going on the road is, is it 3 in a row on the road? Yeah. And by the time we're done with that, we're going to know what the best of the Mountain West looks like.
Colorado State, obviously, as I just mentioned, going out to San Diego State on Thursday and Fresno State on Saturday. You can catch both of those matches on the Mountain West Network. If you feel like it, go up to Laramie. Fill that gym up there. It is going to be a fantastic atmosphere. Colorado State, a key matchup against the Cowgirls before returning home here to Air Force. Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck.
You bet.
We'll be back on the Colorado State Volleyball Update with Olivia Nicholson. After this, don't go anywhere.
We've all been there. Gridlock. But this is the 2018 Nissan Rogue. It's got Pro Pilot Assist and can stop and start on its own to help keep your distance from that car ahead, and can help keep you centered in your lane.
Get a low $199 per month lease or get 0% financing for 60 months on Rogue.
Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
You know what they don't say? If only I had done more banking. We know that life is about living. So go live, and we'll take care of the rest. We are Canvas Credit Union. Go live.
Welcome back to the Colorado State Volleyball Update. Pleased to be joined by the new Libero, Olivia Nicholson. Olivia, how do you pronounce the word? Libero, libero?
Libero.
I gave you a second shot at it. It's Libero. Obviously, she's got that wrong already, but she is not wrong in playing the position extremely well. Okay, before we get in your new duties here for the Colorado State Rams, let's go all the way back to the beginning. You're brought in as an outside hitter, an opposite hitter. You're going to work alongside a lot of players. Now, as a junior, your role has shifted over the course of time. How has that developed for you, and how do you feel about your abilities to just manipulate your position on the court?
I had no clue I'd ever be a libero. I was a middle in high school and didn't really get the opportunity to play back row sometimes. Okay. But growing up, I made an emphasis on working on my overall game, and so I think that helped me, one, be recruited, and then once I got here, fill whatever role that they needed me to play. So
as a middle blocker, you were still doing 6 rotations, and you were staying in with that group? That's how your passing skills came along?
Not always.
Okay.
No, I just did it on my own.
Just did it on your own, just kind of went for it?
And stuff, yeah.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so then obviously Colorado State saw your talent, saw your abilities to do all those different things. Obviously, you have been a great revelation for Colorado State, filling in on a difficult situation when you've got, Maddie Fouts has worn the Libero jersey in years past. Amanda Young has been there. Now you're in charge of it. What difference do you bring to that position that maybe, makes it a little bit different from how they fill that role?
I think it's a little bit easier for me, one, because I'm taller, so I can play those high balls that they can't always reach, and those long-range balls. I'm a little bit taller, so I think my height helps with that. Other than that, I think they do a phenomenal job, so I don't think there's much difference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not necessarily comparing. We're just going with who's better than the other. We're just saying this is what you do differently. Then the other part of it, do you miss the kills? Do you miss just swatting one down on the outside or blocking somebody?
I miss blocking more than anything, yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I enjoy that feeling of shutting down someone else's offense in their game.
A lot of the reasons that you're here is not only a factor of your well-rounded game and your well-rounded approach to the game, but also your journey going into your junior season here has been it's been difficult. I mean, you've run through some injuries that have changed your roles. You've done other things. Is that a more mental problem? Not a problem, but is it a more mental challenge for you, changing roles and doing that when you know that you came in to do a job, you like blocking, you like killing, you do stuff, and all of a sudden, oh, maybe I got an injury, I've got to change my approach. Has that been harder mentally or physically for you?
I think initially my sophomore year, it was very hard for me when I started to be a DS for a couple people instead of hit. That was very hard mentally to change. But after I got into the season last year a little bit, it was a little easier to accept. And so this year when I've kind of been moved around, it's not as hard and I kind of enjoy it. Whatever role that the team needs, I love being that one to just jump in and do it.
One of the things that I always like to say about Libros, they're kind of like goalies in hockey. You just got to be a little bit off. I mean, you know what I mean? There has to be something in your DNA where that ball, that's mine. Yeah. I mean, I need that one. I'm going to get that one. Has that been dormant and that's just coming out in your play here this year, or has it always been like that?
I don't think I've usually been that one to go get balls.
Okay.
But Emily and Coach Thomas have kind of pushed that on me, so it kind of came out after I put that jersey on.
Well, I get the feeling by the way you play, and you're talking about shutting people down, and a dig in the back row when someone thinks they've got a kill, and you just sprawl and you grab one. It's got to feel just about as good as stuffing one at the net, right?
I think I like it better, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love defense.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. So, Olivia Nicholson, okay, last question for you, Olivia. How has the team progressed? Obviously, you're defending a Mountain West championship. You're working very hard. You're 2-0. You got off to a great start. But there have been challenges, ups and downs along the way. You're the libero now. You're back there. You're handling the defense, things like that. What's the general demeanor of your team? How do you think that they're prepared to go handle what's going to be a really nasty road stretch?
Yeah, I think we started a couple weeks ago of just having this attitude of, go get it in practice, whether that's defense, blocking, attacking, whatever that may be, is we have to get after it so that will translate into games because we've kind of had our ups and downs so far this season. Okay. And so if we can maintain a consistent attitude of getting after it and working hard and a lot of communication, I think that will translate overall in our conference play because we have a very tough conference this year.
Yes, indeed they do, but Colorado State gets off to a great start, 2-0 to begin, 3 matches on the road. Olivia, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That'll do it for us here on the Colorado State Volleyball Update. Make sure you check in at csurams.com for all the information regarding how Colorado State has performed on the road, and be sure to get your tickets when they return here to Moby Arena. See you next time, folks.